everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jalene with Joby's Star Astrology. Hope you're doing great today. We are going to talk about this new moon in Gemini that occurred this morning, Pacific time, 4:30 a.m. In the sign of Gemini, 9 degrees of Gemini. And yes, this is a very active new moon. Good time to start putting our plans in place, thinking about them, talking about them, writing about them. And I'll talk to you all about that in a second. But I do want to thank you for being here. If you are new, I would love it if you would subscribe. Just hit the subscription button down below and like and share. That helps me as I build the channel. Comment, definitely. The interaction, I love the interaction, and that does help me build the channel as well. So okay, so we have this new moon in Gemini, and Gemini is a sign of the twins, so it's all about duality, all about having two irons in the fire, plan A and plan B. It's an air sign, a mutable air sign, so it makes us very versatile, very sociable. And this is a good energy to begin a new cycle. It has us really thinking and wanting to move very quickly in our thoughts and in our body. Mercury is a very fast-moving sign. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So this is a bit of get up and go. Now, we just are coming out of this eclipse cycle, this first eclipse cycle, Scorpio and Taurus, a solar eclipse on April 30th, the lunar eclipse on May the 15th, and a lot of us were affected significantly by that, by those eclipses, and so quite possible that we're trying to settle things down, sort out what may have occurred, tie up loose ends. This energy is very good for, being able to see the logic, see both sides, being able to plan out, and, give us the ability to think through a lot of things. Now, this new moon being ruled by Mercury and having Mercury currently in retrograde in the sign of Taurus could be causing some delays or slowness. Taurus is notorious for being slow, but it's slow and steady wins the race, right? So Taurus is all about, birthing something solid and stable and secure. In retrograde, it's going to be a little bit slower than it already is in Taurus, and it does affect this new moon being ruled by Mercury. So we might have this energy mentally, socially, logically, to move things forward, tie things up, plan for this new cycle. And we're finding that things in our physical environment aren't falling into place quite the way we would like them to, or maybe something's gone a little sideways. There's a little bit of correction or revision that we're having to go back and do, and that is quite possible during this time frame. So the best way to get through that is to distract yourself a little bit. Gemini is a very social sign, so actually just kind of tabling some of those things. If your mental energy is moving so quickly that it's got you kind of tied up, this is a good time to distract yourself by actually being sociable. Memorial Day is today. Happy Memorial Day to all of you. And so it's a good time to just sort of set things aside, write things down, talk things out. You can send some emails, make some phone calls, but good time to just sort of relax a little bit with friends, family, neighbors, things like that, and kind of get out of your head a little bit. Gemini and Mercury being the ruler of the mind, can have you in your head, and it can cause some overthinking and some anxiety. So also having this new moon ruled by Mercury, which is in Taurus. Taurus ruled by Venus. It's Venusian things. So we're probably trying to work through things, Venusian Taurus, things like home issues, maybe real estate, maybe trying to move, working on investments, moving money, planting gardens, trying to sort something out, health-wise in our physical bodies. Taurus is an earth sign, so it's all about our earthly existence. So with that being the theme and Mercury in retrograde, like I said, we could be finding that there's a little bit of delay, and maybe some of these things have been dragging on for the last few months, and now you're feeling like you want to get moving, and are having a little bit of a stutter effect, and that's okay. Again, Taurus, slow and steady, wins the race. After things start to move forward, when Mercury goes direct on June the 3rd, through its shadow period, things should start moving at a much faster pace around the middle of the month, 14th to the 16th, and you should start to see things shaking out a lot easier, smoother, and because of the delays, hindsight is always 20/20, but because of the delays, the hope is that they will be in a very strong, stable position, whatever it is you're working on. It'll just be, and then it'll be easy flowing, it'll be secure, and you'll feel very good about it. So again, Gemini is the twins, so lots of irons in the fire. Very possible that you're dealing with two of many things, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, wrapping something up, trying to plan something, go forward. That could be in a relationship, it could be with your finances, it could be with something that you're trying to grow and realize in your day-to-day life. So a lot of busy, using both hands, a lot of dexterity, even if it's just mental dexterity. Good energy to get us moving towards a new cycle. We will just have to be a little patient with this Mercury retrograde in Taurus, and things will start moving forward nicely. Let's see. I'm going to actually go through and tell you where this is happening for each rising sign. And keep in mind when you're looking at your chart for your rising sign that depending on the degree, if you're using Placidus and you actually look at your chart based on the degree of your ascendant, that the house placements I'm going to mention may not always fall exactly in line with where it hits in your personal birth chart, and that's okay. Just double check it. So you know exactly where this is happening. Now, if you use whole sign houses, this is going to fall in alignment perfectly for you. And also check to see if you have this new moon conjunct any personal planets, angles, or if it's aspecting any planets in your chart, because that will tell you a little bit more about what this new cycle might mean for you. So let's get started. All right, so Aries, if you're an Aries rising, this new moon is happening in the 3rd house of communication, short trips, siblings, relatives. This could be a very busy time for you. A lot of talking, communicating, emails, writing, lots of mental energy and moving around. Mercury moves very fast. The 3rd house is the home house for Mercury. So this is a very busy time for Aries rising. If you are Taurus rising, this new moon happened in your 2nd house of earned income, resources, and value. So you are likely taking a look at maybe investments or money from, how you earn money from your job. You could possibly be moving money from one place to another. Again, 2 irons in the fire, trying to wrap something up, move something forward, begin a new cycle. For Taurus rising, it's all about money, value, and resources. If you are a Gemini rising, this is happening in your first house. So you are wanting to really move and get busy. Lots of thinking, lots of physical movement, lots of talking. You're trying to get things in place. Gemini always has more than one thing going on at a time. Their mind is always in two different places, usually ahead of things. Very careful of overthinking or moving too quickly with this new moon happening in your first house. Those setbacks from that retrograde in Taurus could frustrate Gemini rising. Just know that there is an overall purpose for that, and things should be moving forward smoothly very, very soon. If you're a Cancer rising, this is happening in your 12th house. This new moon has you kind of turning inward, thinking about yourself, processing your fears, thinking about things from the past, maybe trying to leave something in the past so that you can create something new in the future. This new moon could have you a little bit could have you a little bit anxious and fearful, just maybe knowing you need to move on from something, for instance, and processing that, and then, not knowing where you're going, the unknown, the future. The 12th house are the things that are hidden and private, things you like to keep secret. So this new moon is all about you. I think it's all about you starting a new cycle and processing your fears and your past issues and moving forward, planning on how you're going to move forward. Of course, it could be more than one thing, of course, and use the Gemini energy to actually come into your logical mind. Also, Gemini ruled by Mercury is the messenger, so in the 12th house you could be receiving messages through your dreams. That's entirely possible. Things like that can help you actually resolve whatever it is that you are privately and internally dealing with. If you are a Leo rising, this is happening in your 11th house of friends and hopes and dreams. So Leo rising, very busy out there in the community, meeting new friends, socializing, connecting with others. Very, very busy time for Leo rising. You could be juggling a couple of different events or different groups of friends. Having one foot here and one foot there. That's definitely something that describes a social time in Gemini season and with the new moon in Gemini. If you are a Virgo rising, this new moon is happening in your 10th house of career. So you are focused on creating something new in the area of your career and your commitment. So you could be wrapping up an old job to move into a new job. That would be something that would be very fitting for Gemini season, for a new moon, starting a new cycle in the new moon of Gemini. All about your career and your public image and reputation, definitely commitments for Virgo rising. If you are a Libra rising, this new moon is happening in your 9th house. So this could be pursuing a new type of education. So a lot of folks have just finished the school year. This could be could be finishing one course of study and planning to go into a new course of study. It's also the house of long distance travel, so this could be wrapping up something in a place that you were, so you can move on to another place. Could actually be moving a long distance, or it could be a lot of travel from place to place to place in the pursuit of learning something, even something that might be of a spiritual nature, or exploring your philosophies or beliefs in some way. So that is Libra rising. If you are a Scorpio rising, this is happening in your 8th house of shared resources and intimate partnerships. This is kind of a difficult house, just like the 12th house. So Scorpio rising could be trying to figure out how to combine resources, take from where things were and move them into a different combination. That could be inheritances, investments. It could be redoing taxes, reworking taxes from last year to try and get them settled for this year. It could be, taking care of one mortgage, selling a house maybe so that you can have another house. This could be about debts. It can be about combining resources or separating resources from an intimate partnership. 8th house is about shared resources. It could also be about past connections as well too, sort of separating yourself psychologically from past connections that you were bound to, and trying to clear things away so that you can start a new cycle. This is going to be a very private house, could, depending on the issues you're dealing with, could be very significant. So 8th house also deals with family legacy, so maybe even dealing with things that have come up from your family from childhood, house of death as well. So could be a very wide range of things for Scorpio rising. Be kind to yourself. If you need that distraction, definitely take it. Have a little fun. Try not to get too far into your head there. Writing is very good. Communicating and talking is very good if it's something difficult. Even trying to reach out to a therapist is a very good idea. All right. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this new moon's happening in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So this could be, two different people you're trying to choose from. Which person, if you've got 2 relationships, 2 irons in the fire, Gemini, duality, which person are you going to actually commit to? This could be a business partnership that you're having to juggle between your personal relationships and a business partnership. There could be, many things going on, a lot of activity in your relationship sector that's causing you to really plan and think through things. The 7th house is also the house of legal issues, so you might be dealing with something along those lines that you have to tie up, while also, before moving into a relationship, right? So like maybe unfortunately, you could be, trying to wrap up your financial obligations, even with a lease, for instance, before you can move in with a partner because you've decided to commit to a relationship, something like that. Could be something like a prenuptial agreement. You want to settle both financial situations legally, get things written out and on paper before you actually move into a committed partnership. Things like that. That would be the legal side, but definitely focus on relationships and partnerships for this new cycle for Sagittarius rising. If you have Capricorn rising, this new moon's happening in your 6th house, which is all about your day-to-day routine. So that includes your work. It's about your health. So if you're having a health issue, you could be trying to reconcile something that's come up, maybe working with a doctor, a physical therapist, a dietitian, trying to process, the way that you used to do things, how you used to take care of yourself, and plan for a new way of taking care of yourself that's going to better support you and your health. If it's work, you could be transitioning, taking on more responsibilities, wrapping up an old job position or structure to move into another one. That is the 6th house. This could be, could be a bit difficult and a bit kind of scattered, especially if Mercury is causing some delays, or you're waiting on information or waiting on other people. But like I said, as soon as Mercury goes direct, things should start to shake out and move along nicely. Okay. If you are an Aquarius rising, this is happening in your 5th house of joy and pleasure and romance and children. This is a very good place to have a new moon to kick off a new cycle. So this could be about romantic partnerships. You could be starting a new relationship and getting out of an old one. You could be dealing with children, helping them transition from one phase to another. You could be starting a creative project and your mind is just going very quickly. You have plans, you know what to do, but maybe you don't have everything you need yet to get started. So, with this Mercury retrograde, maybe it's pulling things back. So plan and write and communicate and talk. So 5th house, it's a good house to start a new cycle. A little bit jealous of Aquarius rising. But very happy for you that the new cycle, the new Moon in Gemini, is in the 5th house of joy. All right, Pisces. Last but not least, Pisces rising. This new moon is happening in your 4th house of the home and family. So this could actually be moving. You could be trying to tie up, clean up, issues with where you're living now so that you can move into another place, and you're trying to get that ready and settled. This could also be about family. You could be helping a family member, mother, father, anything in your home and family life. There could be many things going on that you're having to go back and deal with and help clean up, put together, organize, so that you can move things into this new cycle. Pisces rising, home and family, so real estate, parents, the family unit. Can also be childhood issues coming up as well. If those kinds of things are coming up and they're really in your mind and things are racing, again, good time to write and communicate. And a good distraction would be to actually pick up the phone and talk to somebody if you're dealing with those kinds of things. Hopefully that's not a heavy house. Really looks to me like it might be actually physically moving for a lot of Pisces rising. So that is the new moon in Gemini for all the signs. Those are the areas to look for effect from this new moon and where the new cycle is starting for you. If you're not sure how that shakes out, or if it's conjunct an angle, or it's touching one of your planets, or aspecting it in any way, and you'd like to know more about that, get a hold of me, jovestr.com. That's jovesstr.com, and book a reading. I'd love to read for you, whether that be transits or your birth chart or a relationship reading. Just throw out there whatever you'd like to look at. You can send me a message in the contact section of my website and I'll get right back to you. Hopefully the new moon goes great for you. Happy new moon to everybody. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. And I'm finishing up the horoscopes, so look for those. And we do have a full moon coming up soon, so I'll see you for that. Comment down below what's going on for you. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Know that I thank you very, very much if you have. And I will see you next time. Take good care. Bye.